Good morning. How is everybody? Today is October 14th and the time is 9 o'clock and we're ready to start the Gilpin County Board of Commissioners meeting. First on the agenda, we have agenda review. Are there any changes to the agenda? Okay, I will mention one. We've been asked to remove the clerk and recorder September end of month report off the consent agenda for today, and we'll get that at a later time. Any other changes? Okay, motion to approve.
Move to approve the consent agenda.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Next, we have our opportunity, call for the conflicts of interest. Attorney Messenger, please.
Chair. Madam Chair, members of the board, are there any commissioners that have a conflict of interest with respect to any item on the agenda today?
I have no conflicts.
I have no.
Can we turn this down slightly?
You're all getting blasted. Keep it. All right, no conflicts. Next, to start off public comment, I wanted to just acknowledge that it's been a month already since the Evergreen shooting. And I know that we're still getting updates and information about that. And it's taking a while. It will take a while for that community to heal. And then I wanted to express our thoughts to those who lost their livelihoods and their animals and people that had smoke damage, all related to the Netherland fire. Commissioner talked about it, and we had identified that there were 6 business owners that are Gilpin residents. And so that adds to the thoughts locally that it's affected our community as well as nearby Netherland. And on top of that, thanks, of course, to the firefighters and all the first responders. We heard that people came together and all the mutual aid agencies were there very quickly to do what they could do. And luckily, there were no injuries and lives lost, but it'll take a while for that to be rebuilt. And if you are able, there are quite a number of GoFundMe accounts set up to support individuals and the businesses and the employees that now have no income. Any other comments you want to add before we go to the public? No? Okay. So now is opportunity for public or press comment. Is there anyone that would like to address? Anyone online?
No one online, Commissioner Hollingsworth.
And we do have an opportunity toward the end of the meeting as well. Next on the agenda, we have a proclamation. Our Victim Services Coordinator, Christina Mahoney, is explain the proclamation.
Good morning, I'm good. How are you? So this is a proclamation recognizing October as Domestic Violence Awareness Month in Gilpin County. Whereas domestic violence impacts millions of individuals across the nation, regardless of age, gender, socioeconomic status, or background, and it remains a serious public health and safety issue. And whereas survivors of domestic violence in Gilpin County and beyond deserve safety, dignity, respect, and access to resources that support their healing and recovery. And whereas Gilpin County is committed to increasing awareness, fostering prevention, and providing support to victims of domestic violence through the collaborative efforts of law enforcement, victim advocates, community organizations, and concerned citizens. And whereas observing Domestic Violence Awareness Month provides an opportunity to raise awareness, honor the strength and resilience of survivors, and renew our commitment to ending domestic violence in all its forms. And whereas Thursday, October 16th, 2025, will be recognized as Wear Purple Day in Gilpin County, symbolizing unity and support for survivors of domestic violence and serving as a visible reminder of the community's dedication to ending abuse.
Now therefore, the Gilpin County Board of County Commissioners hereby proclaims the month of October 2025 as Domestic Violence Awareness Month in Gilpin County, Colorado, and encourages all residents to participate in Wear Purple Day on October 16th and join together in supporting survivors and working toward a future free from violence. Do you want to add anything else?
I see that you and Ray are gonna have to wear purple twice this week.
Purple is a color I wear, so I have
Yes.
backup.
Yes. No, nothing else.
Anything more about DV and Gilpin County?
I will say, in looking at statistics, compared to last year, it does, domestic violence is on the rise in Gilpin County. We've definitely seen an increase over last year, so it obviously still remains an issue even here in Gilpin, so.
Which we're always sad to hear, and we appreciate you and your team's work in supporting the victims and helping them get resources and cope with their lives. And thank you so much.
Yeah, of course.
Are there any places that someone could contact if they're experiencing violence?
Yep, they're, well, first and foremost, they should always, if they're wanting to report to law enforcement, they should always report to law enforcement. But they can always reach out to us either by phone call or email. We can be reached at victimservices@gilpincounty.org, if they're needing resources or support in some kind of way. Okay, great. Yeah, thank you.
Would you like to mention, we do support, Gilpin County supports through Porch Light.
Mhm.
Would you like to explain a little bit about that?
Sure. So Gilpin County does also partner with Porch Light Family Justice Center down in Lakewood. They provide kind of wraparound services for victims of domestic violence, sexual assault, human trafficking, and elder abuse. And so it's a wonderful organization that is kind of a one-stop shop for all things victim related. So if somebody needs to get a forensic exam for a sex assault, they can do that at Porch Light, depending upon their availability of a forensic nurse. They can go and watch court if they so choose. Gilpin isn't connected with their online version of being able to watch courts. That doesn't necessarily apply to folks here in Gilpin. But folks in Jeffco who have cases can certainly do that. If they need assistance with civil protection orders or protection orders in general, they can help with that. There's a whole slew of resources that are available to those victims free of charge. They just have to self-identify as a victim of one of those crimes. So it's a great partnership. So.
Right. Thank you. Anything else? Thank you, Christina. And thanks again to your team too.
Commissioner Hollingsworth, I believe the consent agenda, there still needs to be a vote on the consent agenda. A vote on the consent agenda. I I apologize, but I thought you just removed an item from the consent agenda. Oh, then,
It was seconded. It was,
oh,
it was kind of been jumping.
oh, I apologize. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Yes.
Next on our agenda, we have new hire introductions and our Human Resources Director, Shanda Johnson.
Good morning. We have 4 offices or departments here today to introduce new hires. So I'd like to invite up the sheriff's office first, and then the clerk and recorder's office, and then the human services department, and finally the county manager's office.
Right. Welcome.
Good morning, Commissioners. This is Deputy Isaac Thibodeau. We started about a month ago.
Hi.
I will let him take it from here.
Yeah, so I'm a Gilpin resident. I grew up around here. I went to Netherwood High School, K through 12. And yeah, I'm really thrilled to be part of the Gilpin County kind of area and family.
And tell us what your position is.
Yes, I'm a detentions officer in the jail. So I just, yeah, like Dr. Babney said, I started about a month ago. Getting the feet up under me with figuring out everything that goes on.
He'll train you well.
Yes,
Welcome.
thank you.
Yeah. You have anything else? Anybody?
No, wow, welcome.
Thank you.
See you around the jail.
Good. Thank you.
Good morning.
I'd like to introduce Shannon Campbell. She's our new, she's our new recording clerk, full-time. And she retired a few months ago after 22 or 23 years of working for the county. Very excited to have both. This is Shannon Campbell. She's our new employee in motor vehicles. Oh, I'm sorry. This is Summer.
Oh, they both have the same name. Then just, yeah. And what is your name?
She is replacing Paul, who moved up to community development. And I'll let you guys take it from there.
Yeah, Shana Campbell, and I'm excited to be here and be a part of the community that I reside in.
Wonderful.
Shana did actually previously work in emergency dispatch.
Hi.
I'm Summer. It's nice to meet you. I grew up in Netherland. I'm a local as well, and I went to high school here. I'm very familiar with the city and glad to be a part of it.
Yeah. Welcome. Welcome to both of you. Yeah.
Good luck. Thanks for joining us.
My gaggle of people here. Janie Barker, I am the Director of Human Services. Our newest employee is Taylor Dunlap. She is new to us, working front desk, office assistant, all of those kinds of things. We also have Rich Gravina, who is working in our senior services as a full-time aide there. And then finally we have Clayton Hood, who is our new veteran service officer, which you're going to be appointing him soon.
Would you like to tell us a little about yourself?
I've been in the county since 78, and so I had a Rich's appliance repair and retired from that. And then, so I decided retirement isn't that good, so.
That's why you have a familiar face. It's just appliance repair. Yeah. I said, that's why you have a familiar face. I was trying to figure that out the other day when I saw you. And so Rich's appliance repair. Ah, okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Clayton Hood, Navy type, back from 2010 to 2016. And yeah, just want to help veterans in this community. So, yeah, and pretty much it.
And I've heard that both of you have just jumped right in, to do your jobs and be out there in the community. So we appreciate that. Yeah. And you're learning the multi-hatted job. Welcome.
Welcome, folks.
You don't have to bend over. Yes.
Hello, good morning. I'm Jerry Brewer, and so I am the new manager of strategic projects working with Ray. And yeah, born and raised in Colorado, grew up in Evergreen, and I've been a Gilpin County resident for the last 7 years. So really excited to be a part of the county and hopefully participate in making some meaningful changes that I will also benefit from being a resident and help out the larger community.
And you said you live right here in Central City.
Yes, I live on Roworth, so I could walk here. I still chose to drive this morning, but once I get a little settled in, I'm going to consider walking to work. So,
So as a reminder, this position will be primarily working on grants and managing grants as well as special projects that don't fit neatly in a department, as well as digital accessibility. So it's thrilled that we have this capacity back after about 6 months of not having this capacity, and very close. So yeah, wonderful.
Right.
Glad
Thank
you're here.
you. And enjoy meeting all your coworkers. Yeah, they'll appreciate the support.
I bet.
Yeah.
I used to live in the Roworth neighborhood.
The hood. And Janie, you are listed as a separate item. Would you like to come up? I noticed on our list of appointments, we need to change that resolution to say that we're appointing because we have to appoint by statute. Yes. Okay.
Is the statute requirement. So yes, we are here to ask to have Clayton Hood appointed as our official veteran service officer for Gilpin County. That is required by statute, and you guys take it from here.
Well, later in our agenda, which we could look at now, we have an update to the list of appointments. And I was going to point out then that we do need to change the wording of that we're appointing Mr. Hood, since, as you said, that's statutory, and he's not just, it says serving as. So I don't know what else to say except that we could do that now. We could move to appoint him, which would make it more formal. So I suggest that we do that. And then, of course, we welcome you again. Yeah.
I didn't get your last name, Clayton.
Hood,
Clayton Hood.
Hood.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I moved to appoint Clayton Hood as our new Veterans Service Officer.
No second?
And all in favor?
Hey,
Hi.
Aye. Yeah. So that passed 3-0, and we welcome you wholeheartedly. And I hope that you enjoy your work. The veterans in our community are very special people, and the more you reach, the better, and let them know what's available to them, and they can pick and choose. Yeah. Right, right. Thank you. Do you have anything else you want to add? Do you want to tell us about his availability and?
So he's doing some trainings right now. The plan is, once he gets through all of that and is actually certified and accredited, because he needs both, that he will be working Monday through Friday from 9 to 1, as it is a part-time position. So that will give him enough hours for us to get reimbursement from the state for part of the cost to run the program. So that's kind of when he will be available. And Obviously, if there's things outside of that realm of time, to just give him a call, contact him and let him know. We are working on getting him his own cell phone so that he will have a number that people can contact him on directly and be able to set up appointments or things that they might need as well. So he has jumped right in and has completed most of the training. Unfortunately, with the government shutdown, that has kind of slowed down the VA's response to be able to get him fully accredited. So we are kind of waiting on that, but he's got a lot of great ideas for reaching out to veterans and doing more research, and being able to move things forward in a positive way. So we're excited.
Wonderful. And the same office in the Human Services Building? Yes,
Yep.
right.
Little rearranged, so that it's open.
Oh,
It is the same office, yeah.
make it your own. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, good. Well, you'll have some time to get a little bit settled in and acclimated with it. So that'll be great.
Yes, ma'am.
Good, welcome.
One question for Director Barker, with the federal shutdown for 2 weeks, how is that impacting the certification for this position, if at all?
I had just mentioned that it's slowing it down a little bit. He has completed all the trainings, but he's not been able to actually get the accreditation from them because I don't know if they have anybody working. If they do, it's a very, very small staff. And so everything has kind of ground to a halt on that. So
So we don't have a time frame for that.
I don't, until the government opens, I don't really have a time frame. So
Thank you.
we're hoping soon because it really hinders what he's able to do as far as serving our veterans. He can't get on the system, the VA's system, to be able to input information to try to get benefits for veterans. He is able to work with our regional person at the state, as well as a couple other BSOs that have been there that are already accredited that have been helping him. So he's already done a few, assisted a few veterans with getting in touch with those people to be able to try to put their benefits requests in. Unfortunately, those are also being delayed because of the government shutdown. So fun things that people don't really realize when that happens. There's a lot of different things that get impacted. So.
Well, special welcome during this challenging time then. Yeah.
While Clayton doesn't live here, didn't grow up here, he did grow up in a small mountain community. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah. So, I grew up on the Western Slope. Delta and Cedar Ridge was like the two main cities that and then I graduated even smaller town in Colburn and Mesa. So like Mesa High School. I'm familiar with 8-man football. And so, straight out of high school, I joined the United States Navy, sworn in MEPS in Denver. Whole fun experience with that because they wake you up real early just so that you're sitting in a chair for a while. And then, I've went to Great Lakes, Illinois for boot camp, basic. And then San Diego was my main station, USS Carl Vinson. Yeah, by the time I was 24, I got to see a lot of the world, which small town vibes. And then you go from that to Singapore. It's like a very weird, very, very strange difference, but yeah.
Right.
Good. Well, welcome back to the small mountain community. then.
Yep.
Yes.
Hopefully we'll convince him to move up here. But
Looking at land. I am looking at land. So
Great.
awesome. All right.
Yeah.
Great.
Thank you.
Thanks, Clayton. Good luck.
Yeah.
See you around.
Yeah. See you around.
And the next item on the agenda. So
You do.
Sweet. So you can stay. Okay. Thank you.
And then next on our agenda, we are still sitting with Human Services Director Janie Barker. Is Johanna? Oh, there she is. Senior Services Supervisor Johanna Bravo is coming up. And this is Resolution 25-115. This is approving the subcontractor service agreement between Gilpin County and Volunteers of America, known as VOA, for senior services and transportation. Yeah. Take it away.
Alrighty, so I think most of you are familiar with the agreement that we have with Volunteers of America. They funnel funding to our senior program here in Gilpin County from DRCOG to us to run our senior program as far as the meals and the transportation. It covers some of Meals on Wheels as well as congregate lunch and then transportation for non-emergent medical appointments. So every year we have to renew this contract. The last 2 years that I've done it, it's been late. So, but it's finally here. It started in July and there actually are no changes to it from last year. There's no increases, there's no decreases in the amount of funding or the expectations for us. So our request is to approve that I can sign this contract and that we can move forward with this so that we are official with the VOA.
And I saw in the contract, they're still giving $8.25 a meal for the seniors, and Summit is charging basically $8.10. Yeah. I know you had mentioned that there was a possibility of having reductions in the senior services funding. So are you saying that there aren't reductions through the VOA?
Only through this funding stream, no.
Okay.
No reductions at this point.
Maybe through DRCOG. It does mention DRCOG in the contract.
They get money from DRCOG and then they funnel it to us to run the senior program here, basically on their behalf. We're a subcontractor. So VOA doesn't run the program in our county. The Gilpin County runs it. And they give us some money towards it, which we are appreciative for. Obviously, it does not cover all of the expenses. So, and last year there was a huge reduction in the amount that they were covering as far as Meals on Wheels and transportation. So I did look through some of our stats so far this year, and it looks like we are on track to provide the minimum number of meals for Meals on Wheels that is required. And then the minimum for congregate meals, we will be way above. They have a minimum of 675. We should be at around 2,500 by the end of the year. And we are using donations and other funding to pay for that. Obviously, the county has also given some money towards this program due to the importance of it for the community. So that's kind of where we're at this point.
And that's where we'll still be offering the community meals 3 days a week.
Yes, we're still going to do Monday, Wednesday, Friday. The Meals on Wheels are every day. The medical transports. Yeah, those are we doing?
Well, I think we're doing 100 on a monthly basis.
Okay. So we're doing a number of transports as well. And we also do a field trip once a month, which the seniors really seem to enjoy. We also do weekly grocery shopping trips, either to King Soopers or Walmart to help our senior residents who struggle to get to the grocery store to be able to do that at least once a week. I think that's about all you do.
Yeah, and like the medical transportation to appointments, but also to the community center for lunch if they need to, or the fitness class that goes before lunch too.
How many volunteer to deliver the Meals on Wheels right now?
We have 5 amazing volunteers. We have every day a volunteer is running meals to clients, which helps us a lot because, so yeah, I would say 5 consistent Monday through Friday. Each person does 1 day of the week. And we have a couple of backups that if they aren't able, they do it. And then last resort, we go for it since we try to prioritize our work for lunch or other medical transportations.
And I saw in the contract that you are allowed to use volunteers for transportation and that they provide the 2 vehicles and they reimburse for the costs and the fuel and all of that insurance. I don't know if Gilpin's historically used transportation volunteers. Are there thoughts of trying to find some volunteers?
We have not historically. I would need to talk with Shanda somewhere around that. The risk of that, just to weigh the risks and the benefits of that.
Mm-hmm.
We do struggle with having enough volunteers for congregate lunch 3 days a week. Again, it's not the same people every day. And this, we just have struggled with finding some volunteers, but that's something we can look into to see if that could relieve some of, what the staff is having to do, because it does take a lot of time to take people to a doctor appointment and bring them back. It's easily a half a day, depending on what's going on. If it's a procedure that's an outpatient procedure, it might be all day that they're gone. So, historically, we have not done it. I know there were some reservations around it, and I would need to discuss that more as far as the insurance goes, and the risk and liability that the county would take on with that.
I know that other counties do use volunteers, so just inquiring if that's something you might be exploring as times are leaner with budgeting. Yeah. On the contract.
But for volunteers, don't they have to be away for Dr. Card to reimburse? There's what specific compliance they need to go through?
I believe so. I believe they have to have a clean driving record and all of that. We do have a couple of volunteers that do drive for the food pantry and sometimes take the food pantry truck, which is a county vehicle. They do a lot with their own vehicles, but with this kind of transport, we wouldn't want them to use their own vehicles. People are different than food, I guess.
Right.
So, yeah, we would have to look closer into those requirements and then what our insurance would require for that.
Because it did mention, different background checks.
Yeah.
Screenings.
I think all county volunteers have to go through.
Yeah.
All county volunteers go through that anyway, so. Anyway, so I guess discussing this in our meeting maybe will help get the word out that you're looking for volunteers that would like to serve the seniors. Yeah.
Yes, she needs that added to her title. Volunteer coordinator.
Any other questions? Okay, ready for a motion then?
Move that we adopt resolution 25-115, approval of the subcontractor service agreement between Gilpin County and Volunteers of America, VOA.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, that passes 3-0. Thanks for your work and welcome. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we have another contract. We have Division Chief Adamy that is coming back up. And Jeannie Barker is listed as well. Just in case we have questions. Yeah.
Let's see this, so.
All right, tell us what it is.
Good morning, Commissioners. I'm here today to present the outcome of our recent solicitation for food services for the Gilpin County Jail and Senior Meals Program. In accordance with the Gilpin County's procurement policy, the Sheriff's Office issued a formal request for proposals. Summit Food Services LLC was the sole respondent. They are our current provider and consistently delivered reliable service with a strong understanding of our operational needs. Bit of a financial overview. Summit's pricing is structured on a tiered scale based on inmate population. For example, with an average daily population ranging between 20 and 35 inmates, the county will pay approximately $10.21 to $6.70 per meal, provided we don't go up or down that 20 to 35 threshold. Prepackaged meals for special dietary needs are priced at $7. Senior meals are billed at $8.10 per meal, as was previously mentioned. Summit has committed to holding pricing steady for the first year of the contract. Additionally, they are investing $5,000 in kitchen equipment, including a new ice machine, which will become Gilpin County property regardless of future contract decisions. In summary, I'm requesting the board's approval to award the food services contract to Summit Food Services LLC. I also ask that the board authorize the county manager to finalize and execute the agreement with the support from legal. I respectfully recommend approval of this resolution, and with that, I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Any questions? I have one, but
No, yeah, it's great. They do prepare meals themselves right up in the kitchen there.
It's all
Yeah.
done on site in the jail.
It's a good service. I don't think anybody else does that, Cisco or anybody. So, yeah, it's a good deal.
when we did the required jail tour, the commissioners did, we could smell some nice aromas coming. I think they do baking and when we went through the kitchen, yeah. I just wanted to say thanks to them for providing the ice machine. I was glad to see that in the contract because I know that that was something that was mentioned when we did the tour, that need was coming up.
Yeah, that adds to the operational cost. Out
Yeah.
there. And there's some aging equipment in the kitchen, so.
Yeah, we've been over the years replacing things. Yeah, so
Yeah, doing different repairs to the kitchen as well. Upgraded several.
yeah.
things. Well, good. And they also utilize 2 to 3,
Trustees.
yeah, trustees as well.
Yep, if numbers go up too, we try and give them more inmate workers or trustees as needed.
Yeah. And then I did want to mention on the resolution, I would like to see that the on number 1 or number 2, but number 1, that it say not to exceed 280,000. We usually put a not to exceed amount on these resolutions.
I think some of the discussions on that was cautioned against was if we have a greater increase in inmate population, we would ultimately have to come back to the board if we put a do not exceed.
Well, and they just guaranteed these prices for the first year, correct? So there may be some changes to pricing in the consecutive years.
Right. But we only approve it year after year. We only approve it annually anyway. Yeah. So you're thinking we shouldn't put that?
I would caution against it just in case. I mean, my thought is the likelihood of us going over that amount is low, but it's not out of the realm of possibilities if we were to have a big influx in inmate populations and incur more costs. So I think the do not exceed works for vendors that contract for like infrastructure and things like that, but with something that has a fluctuation in price.
So for construction projects, there have been approvals 5% above the contracted amount, though the contract, we would still hold to the lower amount, but that does give some flexibility. So if the commissioners are interested, the not exceed amount could be a 5% increase, and then we'd be obviously holding the costs down, so it wouldn't need to go to the board necessarily within that threshold. But just an option for the board to consider.
I think that it's budget season and we need to know a hard number to budget for. And I know on the cover sheet, it says budgeted amount that you're requesting 280,000. So I think the flexibility with the 5% might do it. Because if it's much more than that, you'll need to come back and ask us to budget more. Because that's just the way it works, right? Yeah.
If I may chime in, commissioners, and in the past, in regards to the Summit Food Service contract, we don't have a do not exceed amount worked into the contract because it is so based on the population per meal per inmate. So I just wanted to weigh in and say that we're following the form in regards to this specific contract, that we typically don't put that dollar amount in there because it's hard to put a specific number.
Okay, that makes sense. What's your feeling about saying that we're budgeting for 280,000?
Well, I mean, the budgeting is something that could still happen. Like that's the amount that's going to be talked about in the budget and the amount that is set aside. And I would encourage the project managers are the ones who are essentially managing and keeping an eye on this contract and monitoring the incoming invoices, be conscious of that number, and that should it be approaching that amount, they should come back to the board for a rebudgeting resolution to address it in the budget. But then it wouldn't add the additional step of having to revise the contract itself, if that makes sense.
It's just the resolution. So, yeah. Okay, that all makes sense. Thanks for explaining it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good to hear the legal perspective.
Yeah.
I'm the money perspective. You're the legal perspective.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I take a look at the monthly actuals we'd received, and I believe you're a little bit under, looking, so you're within the same. Just for this next year's.
Yeah, because the population's been lower since COVID, so that's kind of worked out on different fronts. All right, that's been discussed. With that, any other questions on the resolution? Or I'm ready for a motion.
I move we pass resolution 25-118 Summit Food Contract.
A second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. That passes 3-0. Thanks for your work on it. It's always a little bit of time to work with them and get that done. Yeah. Anything else you want to add?
Yes.
Great, thank you.
The next resolution on our agenda is with Community Development Director Jamie Boyle presenting. This one is establishing the IRC, International Residential Code Board of Appeals, and she'll explain that.
Good morning, Commissioners. Thank you. So this is an item that was previously brought forward to the Commissioners at a work session on September 16th by our building official, Kyle Parag, and myself. This is just requesting that the Commissioners establish a Board of Appeals officially in order to hear appeals that may come up in the application and interpretation of building code. So this is separate from any of the current appeals boards that we have or appeals processes that we have. The legal basis for this is we've adopted the IRC, and they do require that we have a mechanism in place to be able to hear this kind of appeal. In our own local adoption of the IRC, we did slightly change the phrasing from the standard to say that there shall be and is hereby created a Board of Appeals. We deleted that part and changed it to there shall be a Board of Appeals created when necessary. The creation shall occur within 60 days of a request for appeal. So this is really to set us up so that if an appeal does come forward, we are ready to move in an agile way. You all know what to expect, and we can move forward quickly. And upon further investigation, I actually found something in our zoning regulations that specifically assigns the appeals of engineering and construction standards to the BOCC. So that just shows that the resolution we adopted in 2023 was in alignment with our current zoning regulations. So it just sort of highlights that in our local cases, it is appropriate for the Board of County Commissioners to serve as this board. That being said, though, there may from time to time be an appeal that is highly technical in nature. So I did write a caveat into the resolution that allows the board to step aside and appoint maybe a professional or a technical expert in their place if they do not feel that they are qualified to make a certain decision that seems highly technical. And that can be raised either by the board or by the building official who serves as an ex officio member of the board, so a non-voting member. And so just to quickly overview the appeals procedure, this has to be filed with the Community Development Office within 30 days of a building official's decision on building code. The appeals have to state whether they are based on a misinterpretation of the code, non-applicability of provisions, or an equally good or better form of construction. The powers are really limited here. The Board of Appeals does not have the ability to waive any of the code requirements or grant any type of variance from the code requirements or relief. This really is just a matter of does the board feel that the building official has misinterpreted the code, or that the code is not applicable in this situation, or that there is an alternative that has been proposed that is better or equally good? So if and when this does come forward ever, community staff will review the application, determine application sufficiency, collect the required fee, and schedule the matter before the BOCC, sitting as the Board of Appeals within 60 days of sufficiency determination. So this is really just a parallel process to our other variance and appeals requests processes. It really lines up quite the same. So we do think that it would be appropriate to charge a fee for this kind of appeal, similar to a variance request. This will require staff time, time from our hired contractor for these services, which is CAA. And there is quite an administrative burden. There will be noticing requirements, that sort of thing. So the fee really is just designed to reimburse or compensate the county for the administrative costs that go into preparing to hear the appeal. And because it is a very similar process to the variance process, my recommendation that's written into the resolution is to simply have the fee be equal to the fee that is adopted for the variance fee at the time that the appeal is heard.
What is that currently?
I think it depends on the type. I think it's $500 to $800.
There's a range. Okay. Jamie, how many people, is there a requirement for how many people serve as a board in the statute, or the code? I don't remember us talking about that in the work session. Board kind of applies multiple people, just wondering.
That is a good question. And I don't think there is a set number. It only really states that it is a board, so it's multiple, and the building official is an ex officio member.
Yeah, just, you said that we could step aside, so I'm not sure we would step aside, or maybe the technical expert would join the board. So just a clarification there.
Sure. I think if we were to do it that way, I would need to rewrite the resolution a little bit, modify it a little bit. In fact, it probably would be best practice for me to modify it and state the number of individuals that should serve on the board. Can I ask Todd?
Certainly. Is that or serve on the board into the resolution? That wouldn't be a problem.
Okay.
The Board of Appeals for the building codes is sort of a thing of the building code and not of the underlying statute, as I recall. So you can set this up how you deem appropriate, whereas your Board of Adjustment is a statutory creature. It's a different board for the building code than it is for your zones.
I know in CCI, there was an idea for some legislation for this to simplify, especially for smaller counties. And I believe they had wanted a limit of three, like say three experts or three people on the board in terms of just to make it easier to find people, or, you know, a number of experts, construction or electrical, whatever was needed as an idea.
To that point, Commissioner, if I might, it is useful to have people with expertise on your building code Board of Appeals. Those decisions should be very technical in nature.
Right. Some counties probably only use members, you know, in the trades or whatever to serve. I guess it was because you said we would set aside or step aside, and I thought, no, I don't think we would, because then it wouldn't be a board. It would be one person making a decision. So
I'm sorry, I meant each individual commissioner could appoint a person in their place. So I suppose if you all chose to do that in the same case, it would be 3 professional experts in your places. But I realize now that that was a little vague.
So on, this is all related to item 8. So do you prefer to edit this and bring it back, or should we just pass it with edits. Do you have a recommendation, Attorney Messenger?
So a suggestion based on this discussion is I would say instead of under 8, this is the Board of County Commissioners reserves the right. It sounds like it really could be each individual commissioner reserves the right to appoint one or more qualified professionals with relevant training and experience. I think that,
And that we would have a minimum of 3.
yes,
Okay.
I think that,
Is everyone okay if those edits are made at this time instead of bringing it back? Are you okay with that if we make the changes in our motion? Okay. All right. So whoever makes the motion will reference all of that. Any other questions or comments on this?
So the $500 to $800, if somebody pays to appeal a decision and they win, are they eligible to any reimbursement or not?
No, I don't think so because the staff time has been used either way, and that's the purpose of the fee.
Any other questions or comments? All right, I'm ready for a motion. If not, with that editing included.
I would move that we adopt resolution 25-117, establishing the International Residential Code, IRC Board of Appeals for Building Matters, with the discussed amendments to number 8 regarding technical expertise, and the right to appoint more qualified professionals. Relevant training.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
In here, aye. That carries 3-0. Thank you for your work.
Thank you, commissioners.
Mhm.
County Attorney Messenger.
Next on our agenda, we have Resolution 25-116. This is amending the list of appointments. Melanie Blyer, our Community Engagement Officer, is presenting.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Morning.
Based on previous conversations, it sounds like we need to change the the therefore statement to say Clayton Hood is appointed.
Correct.
And based on just the prior conversation, do we need to change the IRC Board of Appeals statement as well?
Was it read? I think that we're still appointing the board to serve as the Board of Appeals. We just have the flexibility in the resolution that each of us could appoint someone in our stead with the expertise in that matter, but we're still the Board of
Okay.
Appeals. That's
So
my
that's the-
understanding. I think it's okay. All
So
right.
this resolution just updates that list with our Veteran Services Officer, the IRC Board of Appeals, and then for the CCEDC, which is Clear Creek Economic Development Corporation, Commissioner Barum and
Right.
is now the appointed member.
It's not an appointed position.
Okay.
Yeah, that's serving. Then I was wondering on the list, it said updated October 2nd, but you'll put today's date on that.
I can.
Okay. Any other questions, comments?
That all looks fine.
All right. Ready for a motion then?
Move to appeal, to approve resolution 25-116, amending the list of official appointments.
Second.
And that's with the edits, of course.
With that, yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. That passes 3-0. Thanks for your work. Okay. Next, we have County Attorney's report.
Thank you, Madam Chair. We'll just- Okay, so there are a number of projects that we're iterating on. The hazardous properties ordinance, the designation of county roads resolution, the OWTS stipulation agreement, and the road maintenance agreement template, which is traveling with the county roads resolution. Today, we will complete our work on the PBA water consulting contract and engagement letter. We've also provided the county legal advice relative to litigation and other matters that are confidential under the attorney-client privilege, the Board of Assessment Appeals, and also a couple of road disputes with residents. We have attended the roads working group meeting to discuss the integration of roads engineering standards with new land use code and possible new ordinances for providing remedy for illegally altering a county road. And we've been working hard on the strategy for relating the land use code update to some directives in the comprehensive plan that currently are not addressed.
Are there any questions or comments for Attorney Messenger?
Oh, no. This one. Okay.
We'll move on, and next we have the county manager's report.
Thank you, commissioners. You have my report. Apologize on sending it a day late. It was sent out on Saturday. I'll run through some of the highlights here. Work session for next Tuesday is we have organ donation incentive pay policy review, OWTS, a EPIC block grant discussion, and then the next work session in November. At this point, we just have Office of Emergency Management. I'm sure that will be expanded upon further. Regarding the community annex, construction is underway. I met with Director Keenan on the progress, and they're slightly ahead of schedule, which is good to hear. Also shared the virtual camera with the board yesterday. It's also going to be on the website eventually, where anyone that's interested can kind of click in and see what's going on for the project, which is a nice feature that the contractor ED Miller provides for those curious. Still working to confirm the town hall for the South Beaver Creek roadway, 60%. As soon as I get a date, I will be sure to share that with the board and advertise it widely. The Public Health Office and facilities have been working diligently due to the sewer main break that occurred on October 3rd. It was repaired by the end of the weekend, which necessitated the closure of some public buildings. We've been working closely with the state regarding the closure. As a matter of precaution, we did test the well closest to the break. It did have elevated levels of E. coli. So the county is now moving forward to treat the well, so it is safe for consumption. And since that well came back positive, we've expanded the area to 1,000 feet from the break. And public health is working to contact all of those owners, have their wells tested for free. If they come back with elevated levels of E. coli, we will treat it as well. So that is in the works. The State Department of Public Health is very involved in this as well. So we are doing everything we can to mitigate the impact of that. There will be a follow-up meeting of key staff to talk about kind of an update from this process and how there can be some improvements in the future for addressing this, preventing these types of things. So that will happen once all the testing is done for the wells and the issues fully resolved. The Gilpin Ambulance Authority has a vacancy for the director, the chief. So the board is going to be working on a solicitation, advertising that position. Hope is that we can fill the position for the chief of the ambulance authority very soon. I've met with the county surveyor, working through projects and items of concern with him. Attended the NAAIG meeting regarding iGaming. We did receive a response from Manager Miera from Central City regarding the Russell Gulch, Water General. I am going to be preparing a response, but I'll send it to you first. I just want to let you know formally that we did receive a response from Central City regarding that effort. The finance director, assistant county manager position. So we've completed first rounds. Second round of interviews will be at the end of the month. We have two excellent candidates that will be interviewed at that point. The office assistant to the manager's office position has been paused pending the further budget discussions. Last week, I attended along with Commissioner Hollingsworth the Rollinsville infrastructure meeting. It was very well attended. Over 80 people attended that meeting. Kudos to the community development staff and public health staff and public works. It was just all hands on deck. It was really a good meeting, good outreach, a lot of good feedback as we are working on listening to the community as to where their concerns are and how we can adapt the plan moving forward. Budget process is listed there in the report. We are near the end of the process. One work session has been completed. We have two more, both this week. It is my understanding we are canceling the 22nd, but wanting, is that, I just want confirmation of that.
Yes.
Perfect. Okay, so the 22nd then would be canceled, so it would just be two this week for the budget process. And we are still looking at budget adoption for December 15th. Obviously, if the board wants additional meetings between now and then, that's of course available to you. We will accommodate as much as we possibly can. Then I have a whole list of other things not on the agenda, but it's been a very busy couple of weeks. There's a vaccine clinic, October 25th at the library from 10 to 2, as well as November 19th here in the courthouse between 3 and 7. I attended, as well as the commissioners attended, the 30-year of service for Cindy Johnson, which is quite a remarkable event and activity. So kudos to her for many years of wonderful service for the county. The Spooky Stroll will be October 24th from 5 to 9 at the community center. The budget process, we're doing it a little different this year, as you're well aware. So we're using OpenGov. There has been a posting on the budget, a number of posts, and we're trying to make it as transparent as possible. So it's out there, it's live, it's available if anyone's interested in seeing changes as it progresses. This weekend, the ballots were officially dropped, so they are out. So everyone should be receiving the ballots. I encourage everyone to complete the ballots and vote before or on election day. The courthouse was closed yesterday, partially for emergency closure. The power went out for a number of hours. It was approximately out from about 11 to 4. The building was closed around 2 o'clock. Those that were able to work remotely were sent home to work remotely or any other location. Those that were not were sent home because of the power outage. We've received word on that Union Pacific is looking at closing a portion of South Beaver. They were looking at doing it this week. We didn't get a lot of a notice on that. That is currently on hold, so that is not happening. So we have not shared it with the public because we didn't get any details from Union Pacific, but it is on hold currently. And as soon as we get something more specific, we will be sure to share that. And then lastly, I've been in contact with the town administrator of Nederland, seeing if there's any assistance we can provide to support them in this challenging time. They apparently, not only with the loss of business and livelihood in Nederland, and also loss of a lot of important services for the community for Gilpin County as well. And they're looking at a loss of their tax base of somewhere in the neighborhood of 30% with the destruction of that building. So reach out to see if there's any sort of assistance we can provide. And I am planning on attending their Board of Trustee meeting tonight at 7. And I stand for any questions.
Great. Regarding the wells, and the one that tested positive, how long does it take to get the results from the state?
So I spent a good portion of the time yesterday afternoon with the public health office as they're working through the notice in the process. So E. coli is 24 hours. Nitrates, it takes longer. So that's why we're still in the window for the testing for the community center and the jail. It came back that there were no signs of E. coli, which is great news, which is the major concern. We're just waiting for the nitrates, though it's unlikely there'll be nitrates. Nitrates, from what I've learned, is something that kind of develops over time. It's not caused by a one-time spill per se, but we are still waiting for that. So we are recommending not to consume the water at the Justice Center Community Center just yet, but the major issue of E. coli that it came back safe. With the testing for our 2 wells in the campus was conducted last week. Our cycle for testing is usually every quarter, but we've asked for additional testing just to make doubly, triply sure that the water remains safe.
And do you think we might get an update about all of that at the Board of Health meeting,
Yes.
October 20th? All right, thank you. It sounds like we might be doing some supplemental budgeting should the Russell Gulch or anything in the Rollinsville infrastructure come up for this year's spending. Yeah.
Yeah, look, it's been an incredibly busy time since I received that email from Central City, so I haven't really had an opportunity to see if there's a path forward, and then to see where the preference of the commissioners are on that. So I'm hoping to get through that this week.
And just on November 4th, I did, after we had our discussion, did invite the Boulder Ranger District to see if he can come and have a work session with us that day.
Oh.
Haven't heard back yet, but
Okay.
just making a note.
And I do believe there's another topic on November 4th with the sheriff's office. I just need to confirm exactly that. So stay tuned for November 4th. Though that is election day, the location probably would be at a different location than here.
Okay.
So to be continued.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, any other questions or comments? Or on the community engagement report? Okay. I always appreciate seeing those. I think that people are really engaging.
Yeah, I was also very impressed with the Instagram followers, that those have increased significantly over the last few years, which is good to see that we're using various platforms, not just the typical Facebook platform. So yeah, kudos on the efforts Melanie is doing on that.
Newsletter subscribers seems to always be on the increase as well, which is good.
Right. Yeah, get out the actual updates from the county and instead of reading things just on social media.
Yes.
Yes.
And I know I've shared this individually with each of you, but I really find that since we are now proactive with our messaging, that when there is something on social media of some sort of question or some statement of something that someone believes is true, more times than not, there's someone else in the community that ends up sharing our information that we have already proactively shared, and that tends to settle the issues in social media. So it's really helped with getting the facts out for the community. So it's been wonderful.
Yeah, wonderful. Great, thank you so much. And of course, if anyone's looking at our full packet, we have a letter that we have submitted to the governor and the JBC members about unfunded mandates and the impact they have on our county. Other counties are doing that as well, and we wrote ours to our liking instead of just signing on to a different one. Next, we have opportunity for public or press comment. Is there anyone?
There is no one online. Oh. So we haven't sent that letter out then? I know there's a lot of interest. So I guess we're going to ask for direction from the board to sign the letter then today. Thank you
Right.
for clarifying.
Okay, everyone's agreeable to signing it? Yes?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay, yeah.
Wow.
Well, we didn't approve it in a meeting, just informally. Now it's official. All right, any comment online?
No one online, Commissioner Hollingsworth.
Next, we have our opportunity for the commissioners to report out. Commissioner Aiken asked a while back if just one of us could report on the things we've all done, so I have my list. So on September 23rd, we did do a kickoff publicity opportunity about the right-of-way mitigation agreement between the Clear Creek Ranger District, Boulder Ranger District, and Timberland Fire. And our public works staff also represented. So we were all present for that. We had our Jefferson Center quarterly, well, it's biannual, Jefferson Center Mental Health Partner Zoom, which we all attended to discuss how things are going. We attended the Sheriff's Office and Office of Emergency Manager community meeting, and we appreciate those. And then we have all attended CCAT policy, CCI meetings, and then our 2 budget meetings so far. Who would like to go first? Would you like to go this time?
So yeah, besides all the CC, I did a couple CC4CA webinars. One was on the Excel gas infrastructure plan, talking about their wanting to raise the rates. And so we had the NAAIG webinar. It was the National Association Against Internet Gambling, which was it was pretty neat. It was attended by people from all over the country. So we had the usual CCAT, CCI. We've been working with the budget. So that's about it for me.
All right, thank you. Commissioner?
I attended the Colorado Common Cause meeting, and at it, Congressman Joe Magoo's had received a Champion of Democracy Award from Colorado Common Cause, as well as Colorado State Senator Julie Gonzalez for their work on legislation. Also attended meetings with the Mountain Family Group. They're trying to get establish a Facebook page or Instagram posts for families with younger children. And then also trying to find a time to have a family-oriented activity for the younger children. Attended the GAA, the Gilpin Ambulance Authority meeting, and as County Manager Rears reported, we are having a vacancy of the chief position, so we're starting our search for that. Attended the SLT meeting with staff. Attended another CC4CA nuclear informational meeting. This time with the bent towards Excel and how it's looking towards utilizing more nuclear. Some of the pros and cons of that, and then questions were discussed. While there is a lot less nuclear waste, but there still is some, so they're having to look at different ways of getting rid of that waste, the different pellets and also the water. And looking at other cooling methods, they're still bringing up, I guess, salt as a cooling method, but there again, once that salt's been utilized, how contaminated is it? And then how do we deal with getting rid of, disposing of it? The NAAIG meeting, and then also budget meetings.
Yeah, we're kind of repeating a little bit here, but so I attended both the Rollinsville virtual and in-person area specific plan community meetings. And then I attended the NOCO Places retreat that we had to do future planning and discuss should they receive the large GOCO grant, how that will be implemented across the 6-county region. And then 3 meetings with Jefferson Center. One was on new market tax credits with the investors to kind of pitch having that happen so that they can receive funding to help with the Soterior landing. And then I attended the Jefferson Center Finance Committee, which I'm on, and the Board of Directors. And then I also met with the Boulder Ranger District, Kevin, one-on-one. We were just talking about reinvigorating the relationship with Boulder Ranger District between Gilpin County and that district because we're very active with the Clear Creek Ranger District now that they have Ranger Fergency, and so he would like to equally be more involved, and we discussed kind of what had happened in recent years to fall off on that. But we were brainstorming a lot of ideas that came either from the sheriff's office or NOCO places as potential ways to address recreation management and the heavy use of some of the trails, especially the East Portal. So that's why we're hoping he can come to a work session with us. That'd be great. Upcoming meetings, I have a list here, the aforementioned budget work sessions. I'll be in the Mountain Rail Coalition this week. Commissioner Aiken is going to be on the CC4CA, and I might listen in on Friday. I rarely can do that. We had the Board of Health on October 20th. And then I think everything else on my list was already mentioned by Manager Rears. Anything else to add that 2 or more commissioners might attend?
I think we have mentioned the vaccination clinic at the library. 25th.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, okay. 10 to 2, yeah.
Okay, anything else? If not, next we will recess to executive committee and then we'll reconvene. Need a motion to recess?
I move that we recess to executive session for a conference with the county attorney for the purpose of receiving legal advice on specific legal questions under CRS 24-6-4024B, and further recess to executive session for the purpose of determining positions relative to matters that may be subject to negotiations, developing a strategy for negotiations, and or instructing negotiators under CRS 24-6-4024EI.
Is that all included?
Yes.
With reference to local coordinating.
Oh, okay. With reference to local coordinating.
All right, do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, we are recessed and we will put up a note for the public and then reconvene. Hopefully not too long, but we shall see. Yeah, or at least announce out.
Announce something.
Yeah. Hello, everybody. It's 11:42 and the Board of Commissioners is reconvening. Next on our agenda, we have Gilpin County Representative on the Early Childhood RFA Committee discussion.
I'm happy to.
Do you need- I need to read a citation from Attorney Messenger.
The number, yeah, the last one.
Okay, I said the time is now 11:42. I'll repeat that. And the executive session has been concluded. The participants in the executive session were Commissioners Hollingsworth, myself, Commissioner Berman, Commissioner Aiken, Manager Rears, and Attorney Messenger. For the record, if any person participated in the executive session believes that any substantial discussion of any matters not included in the motion to go into executive session occurred during the executive session or that any improper action occurred during the executive session in violation of the open meetings law, I would ask that you state your concerns for the record.
Have none.
Okay, seeing none, we'll continue with the agenda.
Thank you.
And as stated, we are now on the agenda item regarding the Gilpin County Representative on Early Childhood RFA Committee.
So it's my understanding from the discussion in executive session that there needs to be an additional person to support the LCO process. And I am suggesting that our new manager of strategic projects, Jerry Brewer, serve in that capacity, wanting direction if the commissioners are supportive of that.
Yes, I support that.
I support that.
I support that.
Thank you.
Anything else at this time on that topic?
And we will bring forward a more formal resolution at the next commissioner meeting detailing exactly what's involved in this. So that will be in 2 weeks.
That sounds good. All right. With that, having no further business, we will adjourn at 11:44 today. Thank you.
Thank you.